Pat is here with us to talk about the
suicide. Wink, wink.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Look, they did an autopsy over the weekend.
Yeah.
And they have determined that they can't determine the cause of death yet.
Of course. I mean, why would an autopsy determine the cause of death?
Wait, you've done an autopsy on a guy who had to have hung himself, right? I mean, what else could he have done?
Yeah.
You can't determine the cause of death? Come on.
Now, what I heard was that they're releasing it with the FBI report. So it's not just they just.
Well, I know
they can't determine it.
I listened to was it daily, or I listened to a couple of things from the left every morning. So this maybe came from NPR. This came from NPR that the autopsy was performed and they have
can't determine
the cause of death yet.
I couldn't help but notice this was a guy who was on suicide watch.
Yeah,
but had been taken off of it. They do have monitors to see what's going on in his cell.
But
they were all pointed outside the cells. I mean, that's where all the action is, right? Is just outside of the jail cell. The guards were supposed to be checking on him every 15 minutes, but didn't. They were just too tired. And he was supposed to be wearing a suicide-proof jacket, but wasn't. So what a bunch of amazing coincidences those are. I mean, and then the guy just happened to conveniently hang himself when there's nothing to hang yourself from, apparently, in those cells. It's just weird.
Well, we all know Hillary Clinton was there.
Yes.
Hillary was there.
Well,
she was in the bottom bunk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was in the bottom bunk.
Was that on NPR too? Because I haven't heard that one
I don't know which one that was on.
Okay.
But yeah, she was in the bottom bunk. Pretty sure.
Well, they've only been able to get to somewhere between 40 and 400 people so far. They can get to Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, what do you think of this theory that Sandy Berger, even though he's dead, somehow or another got in and was trying to smuggle Jeffrey Epstein out in his underpants? and Epstein just was, you would smother to death in the underpants.
Well, he would commit suicide if stuck in the underpants of Sandy Berger, I would assume, especially right now.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
Well, there's not a lot of room there with all the documents Sandy had in there. I don't know how he fit.
Right.
But
people wonder why there's a conspiracy theory on this one. Oh,
come on.
I don't know. This is what happens when you constantly lie to the American people.
Yeah, incompetence is the parents of most conspiracy theories, right? So I mean, we don't know what happened here. Obviously,
no idea.
It's funny though, the media is blaming the right for jumping to these conspiracy theories, and part of this is because Trump did the retweet thing. But the left has had conspiracy theories on this going on forever.
They just said 3 weeks ago the guy was likely on a hit list. Well, yeah, I mean,
who doesn't think that is possible?
Right.
You have a guy who everyone is saying, do you know everyone, including the Pope, had sex with people that he lined up? Of course, there's a million people that want this guy dead.
By the way, we haven't seen the Pope's name yet on any of the flight logs.
Yet.
But I mean, you have not only people like Clinton and a lot of figures on the left, you also have Trump, who's also been thrown into this by the
John
left.
Glenn.
Theories. Yeah, you have John Glenn. You have also multiple billionaires, not necessarily partisan figures.
Quite a few women are on this list.
Yeah, it's really
it's a weird.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot of women on that have been on these flight logs.
Right, and that's part of this, which is just because you went on one of these
doesn't
flights
mean that you raped young girls. It
doesn't.
doesn't. But there's Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico and former presidential candidate. He is thought to have had sex with.
You know what's so funny is that each side is like, well, Bill Richardson, of course, he was in with the Clintons. Each side is doing this.
Right.
You hear somebody like Alan Dershowitz. Of course, he was with Trump. Of course.
Right.
Of course. I mean, we don't. Do we need a trial? Do we need anything?
No, it's already
really?
been done. It's done.
It's
done.
We just know our side is clean, their side is dirty.
Didn't Dershowitz already sort of disprove that he had anything to do with it?
Oh, did you not hear? 2 weeks ago, we had him on for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to listen to it. It's
I think I heard part of that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never heard a guy more absolutely clear and say, look, I'll show you my diary. I'll answer any question. I'll show you all the evidence. I'm not where they say I was. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's really, he's either the ballsiest liar in the world or he's absolutely innocent.
And he said he's going to come down and do a podcast with Glenn and bring the evidence.
Yeah.
And show you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. He said, I'll show you the diaries. I'll show you the calendars. I'll show you everything.
That's great.
He's like, I've got it all.
And apparently, so did Epstein. Apparently, he's got really extensive diaries, and nobody wanted him to talk. It is not a really big stretch to think that somebody killed him.
Come on.
It's not a big stretch.
When there is a mobster in jail, and you know that, Fingers Malone is also in there in the cell next to him. Mm-hmm. You're not. When every Godfather wants that guy dead, no one is surprised by it.
Right.
Why is it we have these Godfather-like power figures and we think that it's unreasonable that one of them wanted this guy dead?
And by the way, it's possible it's not the Clintons. It's somebody else on this list that didn't want their name.
It's not the Clintons. I love that. Let's keep an open mind. It is possible it's not the Clintons.
Right.
It's called fair and balanced, guys. We report, you decide.
Thank you.
Okay.